The next market narrative might actually be stock market earnings, friends. As you've witnessed recently, we've seen a lot of the Trump versus China tariff stuff that's really plagued the media. And before that, we had like Israel, Palestine. And before that as well, you know, we had Russia, Ukraine, and they keep kind of spinning around. So this is a message from Jim Cramer. Tomorrow, the earnings and the festivities start in earnest. This is Uncle Jimmy Cramer here, Inverse Oracle God. So we might start to move into next earnings. And remember, earnings is just pretty much, you know, the quarterly results from stock market companies. And basically the entire stock market is just priced off their forward estimations and all of these, you know. When it comes to all these earnings and everything is here, it's all the big ones, right? Apple and Nvidia and Johnson & Johnson, baby bump powder. Do they need to sell more baby bump powder rashes for rashes or less? So obviously, the more that we see positive numbers, you'll see the S&P 500 quite strong. And then from there, all the derivations of, you know, the next 2 or 3 months of economic data, they start to pretty much come into fruition. And hopefully we get a good result from there. Also want to remind you, friends, as well. So Ethereum, we've got a big upgrade coming on May 7th as well. Yeah, and we do need a big fat pump, don't we, for Ethereum. I'll put on a monthly chart. This should show you that we're pretty much barely hanging it together. Ethereum 1800, man, we got to see this thing above 2000. We got to see it above 3000 pretty much shortly. Here's Sassal, a staunch Ethereum maxi. I just want to read for you this interesting post. Now that the Ethereum ecosystem is putting more focus on scaling and improving the layer 1, the narrative from the Ethereum bears has shifted to roll-ups or layer 2s are getting rugged. So pretty much what you see, friends, I'll tell you that the story is Fugazi. The narratives are all Fugazi, okay? They're a reflection of the price action. So the more words you hear from people, just know that, oh, I'm hearing a lot of good words. Okay, the price action good. I'm hearing a lot of bad words. Okay, price action bad. That's it. Okay? It doesn't mean like don't listen to the story or anything. Of course, like we're human, man, they absorb. I'm just telling you, the story is not the dictator of what happens next. Okay? It doesn't necessarily mean whatever they say has to happen next. That's what I'm talking to you about. Also, you want to buy low, sell high. And also, when it comes to Ethereum, friends, remember, they are focusing now on layer 1. They're going to, I think, maybe make the gas limit up 4x, make it faster, a bit better. And there's already the Ethereum bears. See, this is the funny part, right? Because Ethereum is so low, ETH BTC, people say the most amazing things just not to get long. They'll say, no, it's crap. Now the layer 2s are getting rugged. I don't trust you, Ethereum, because the layer 2s aren't being looked after now. So, see, friends, it's all Fugazi. Once again, no matter what ETH does, there is always a narrative shift from the detractors to paint the picture that Ethereum can never win no matter what it does. To make it clear for everyone, scaling the L1 does not take away from the L2 or rollups. It actually makes them much better and makes the L1 even more attractive for them to settle down to. So, remember, friends, you can even change the coin here and let's talk about Pulse chain, right? If Pulse goes up, friends, what are people going to be saying? They'll say, oh, it's a one-man show. It's only Richard pumping it. It's only Richard pumping it, okay? And then if it was like a community thing, they go, oh no, now Richard's gone. Oh no, he was the biggest pumper, now Richard's gone. Like, bro, you're complaining that's a one-man show. Now we're showing you there's a lot of people like, oh, Richard's gone. That's why you don't listen to that voice, friend. That voice of soy, it really is a voice of soy. You can't listen to it. Because that voice of soy tells you nothing, friends. Look, it doesn't tell you anything about the future. Those soy boy forecasters and soy girls as well. They just tell you about the soy boy or soy girl. It tells you, oh, you're in a state of despair. You see a red candle and you're running away from it. The rest of us like to buy red candles. Now, of course, we've been turbo long for a long time, waiting and praying and coping. If you had DCA money, wage money coming in, it's still advantageous to you to like consider DCA buying stuff that you think is cheap. Dare I say, and just be careful because like in the next phase, if we start to flip really, really good, you know, in our spirit, a lot of people want to take on a lot of leverage and we'll get to that part later, okay? And for that, I'm going to crank for you some music. So the cycle's going to keep playing out. All the macro stuff is coming together, friends. You know, stock market, the jitters have slowed down. We need late major loser Jerome Powell to cut the rates. I'm going to now show you again this picture of Ethereum, friends. Remember, Ethereum, it's a nice proxy, man. It's just, it's all encompassing of the altcoins. It's the health of everything. Okay, now obviously I like to look at others BTC, others ETH and different ratios out here. Okay, so buy-in may go away. I have a couple of baby dolls in my Telegram, they're actually asking, where does the whole like selling May go away? Where does it come from? It's a good question, right? It's from Mr. Sir. His name is, it's bullish. Thank you very much. So friends, it comes from stock market seasonalities for the past literally 120 years. And I can actually show you this chart. Man, this is wild. Check this out. They did this. This is 33 years of data. No, 50 years of data. Okay, some say data. Look at this, friends. See the gray? See that box? This is the S&P 500, okay? See the gray box? So look what month that is. May to October. So the S&P 500, okay, from May to October is only 1.6%. And then 0.7% for the Dow Jones. And then 2.9% for the NASDAQ Q. See that? NASDAQ. Crazy. And then look at the red. This is Nov to April. See that? Not yes-vember, November. Look how giant they are, man. This is wild, friends. This is absolutely bonkers, man. So like looking at such an extremely clear chart, friends. My gosh, look at the difference here. All of the stock market gains, man, they all come from that November to April mark. You're like, whoa, show me, my friend. Are your elbows sharpened? We just finished April. Oh my gosh, what happens next? Well, look, friends, look. We also know the stock market, it follows global M2 liquidity, okay? Pretty much a lot of these risk assets, they follow that, yeah? Well, the global M2 liquidity, it's been coiling up. It actually hasn't moved up that much compared to recent past. Why? Well, they haven't rolled over the debt yet. They have not rolled over that debt yet, but hopefully they do it soon. And then we can continue, right? So this time is different because they have not turned on the global liquidity money printers yet. So it could happen any day now, right? But like, see what we're waiting for, like, as you know, friends, right? Donald Trump's plan. He wants oil down. Yes. He wants those rates down, right? He wants everything to be on par. Wants the US dollar down, the dollar redo. Okay, and then when he gets those down, it calls for the US dollar to pretty much to allow for the US Fed to cut rates more. Because what happens, friends, is yes, it acts as stimulus as well. And then if the rates are cut, which they haven't happened, right? Because we have major loser, as Donald Trump called him, Jerome Powell, major loser. I love that, major loser, not minor loser, not a minor winner either, major loser. The rate's coming down, he gets a cut, and then we get to roll over the debt for another 4 years. It's basically, yes, the metaphorical equivalent of kicking the can down the road because you don't want to pick it up. You're just walking down the road, you're like, I'll just kick it again, and I'll just kick it again. I'll just keep kicking the can. I love that metaphor, just walking out, just kicking a can down the road. Yes, and remember, I've left it open in my mind. Well, you know, what if they did like a 3 or 6 month rollover first, and then when it comes to the next part, they get to roll it over again. I can show you right now, friends. There's rate expectations for the next 2 years. It's still at around, see this number, so this chart is US 2-year minus Fed funds. So basically, the US 2-year yield, what they think it's going to be in the next 2 years, and if you remove today's Fed funds rates, then you just have what the market expects the next rate cut moves to be over the next 2 years. Right now, see this number, minus 0.64%. So that's about 2 rate cuts. That's pretty poop. Okay, pretty poop. I guess what this is, friends, it's funny. You know, around the tariffs, we went down here. We thought it was going to keep going down, and then they're going to get like, you know, 6 rate cuts. But look what ended up happening. Because the bonds dumped, the yield went back up, and we went back here. We're like, oh crap. Oh crap. That's what the market was like. Hey, you think you're Big Daddy? I'm Big Daddy. So this thing, hopefully, this thing gets a downtrend along the way. Remember, every 25 basis points is a cut. So like, ideally, man, this would be nice, friends, if we can get down here. But it's outside of our control. Maybe they'll roll it over. Remember, this is 2025, okay? And December is here. So December's here. So, actually, here's the thing, friends. The debt rollover's here. So the debt rollover's due here, and then December's here. Now, I've just marked December because you never know. We come here, they do a 6-month rollover, and then the thing keeps going down, and then they do another cut. And yes, it does matter a lot because it's $9 trillion, okay? So that is, if you want to run, like, it's a believer cycle, isn't it, by the way? Friends, like I just showed you, its selling may go away every single time. But I'm thinking, hey, man, I believe this time. I believe there's strong hands left. I believe in my tweaked nipples. I believe in you. I believe in your straight posture. I believe in your fluffy slippers just as well as mine. That's what I think is going to happen, friends. And remember, always late Jerome Powell has not cut the rates yet. Donald Trump is holding out for those lower rates. Is he going to budge? Is he going to fire him? We'll see. So they will be printing soon, as Arthur Hayes has told us as well, friends. So they will be printing soon. We watched like the TGA, these other accounts of America as well. But they're not going to be calling it like, oh, hey, everybody, it's QE time. Go buy dog coins again. They're probably going to be using other words. What words? I guess we'll find out, right? They're probably working that stuff in the background right now. So macro is on track. I've got plenty more content for you coming. Very, very hot and spicy. Like, subscribe. Catch you soon.